What's going on? All right, so what I want to talk about is the power of compound interest. This was something that was taught to me in school, and I tell you, it blew my mind and really opened up, just really opened up my mind to the possibilities and really just how money worked. You know, how money worked and how to make it work for you, how to stop it from working against you, right? And it's all about compound interest. There's a lot of quotes and things about this that you can go out online and see. I think one of the most famous ones, I believe, was Einstein. I believe, I might be wrong about that, but I believe it was Einstein that said that compound interest was the most powerful force in the universe. That's outside of gravity. It's kind of a funny quote, but compound interest is powerful, very powerful. I get a chance to go through a lot of financial statements and stuff like that. So I see a lot of this stuff, and one of the biggest examples that I can share with you today is a mortgage statement that I looked at a couple years ago. At only 4.5% interest, which is decent interest on a mortgage, the actual price of the house was doubled over the course of 30 years. If you take a $100,000 house at 4.5% interest a year, by the time you finish after you finish paying the house off, it's double. You pay $200,000 for that house, and that's crazy. I talk about this stuff a lot when it comes to automobiles, vehicles. Vehicle loans are horrible things. Almost illegal. Seriously. I'm trying to think of the word for it. It's a biblical term, and I can't think of it now. It'll come to me. But anyway, interest is evil. It's a horrible thing, and a lot of companies get away with it simply because people don't understand it, and they don't understand it, and so because they don't understand it, people get hurt by it. You know, I had a friend of mine a couple years ago. She called me and she says, "Oh, hey, guess what? I just bought a new car, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And me being me, first thing I said was, "What was your interest rate on that?" And she said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, go look at the paperwork and, get back to me." And she got back to me. She said the interest rate was like 6 or 7% or something like that. I said, "Oh, no, that's not going to fly." So the next day, me and her went down to the dealership. We sat in the office. It took about 30, 45 minutes of going back and forth with dude, but we knocked her interest rate down, I think a whole percentage point to something like 5%, which ended up saving her like $2,000. And, when you think about paying something over the course of, 2, 3, 4 years, $2,000 doesn't seem like a lot of money. But the question becomes, if I can save you $2,000, is it worth $1,000? Of course it is, right? So this is something that I always talk to people about, and it's really important, is understanding the risk-free interest rate. Okay, the risk-free interest rate is how interest rates are sold. Okay, what that simply means is that risk-free, without doing anything. Okay, I can make a certain percentage on my money. All right, risk-free, without any risk at all. Now, if I'm going to risk giving you a car and have you not pay me back for that car, well, I have to be compensated for that risk. Okay, the question becomes, how much risk is that though, right? And one of the arguments that I made with the young man is I said, listen, I know this young lady. She will not pay her light bill before she not pays this car note, because the car is that important to her. And that's true of a lot of young ladies, especially if you have kids. That car note is important, and that's going to get paid no matter what. You will be eating noodles and water before you let that car go. And so that gets calculated into that interest rate, right? So if somebody says, "Hey, I figure I need double whatever the risk-free interest rate is for this loan," okay, I can understand that, not bad. But you're not going to charge me triple, quadruple the risk-free interest rate. That's ridiculous, right? So anyway, what I have here for you, and I'm going to have to do another video about interest rates. Today is compound interest. All right, and compound interest is how interest rates work. That's what we're going to talk about today. I kind of got off on a tangent. So anyway, what I have set up here is an Excel spreadsheet, and it's going to help illustrate exactly how interest rates work and how compound interest works. So let's get into it. All right. So what we see here, and I hope I have this locked. So let me see. Oh yeah, I do. That's good. Okay. So what I have set up here is what I use for my personal retirement. Okay. This is what I use for my personal retirement. And I help use this for other people's retirement as well. All right. So what you're going to see here, let me scroll over. I was 3 in 1985. At some point, I'm going to stop telling my age, but I was 3 in 1985. Okay. And so what this is saying is if I contributed money to my retirement at the age of 3, right, and I earned a 10% return on that money, because that's the average return right now that I'm making currently in my retirement account, then this is my balance. Okay. Now, again, 10% a year is what I'm earning right now in my retirement account. And I assume that after I retire, the rest of that money is going to grow at roughly 5%, because it's super easy to make 5% in the market simply by dividends, if nothing else, right? Now, my current annual contribution right now is $3,600, and I presume that I'm going to withdraw $40,000 a year once I retire. And then this thing right here is telling me whether or not my retirement plan is good or bad. Okay. If my money runs out before age 90, okay, then that is a bad thing. All right. If I have money at age 90, then this is going to turn to good. So let's just quickly illustrate that. Let's say I'm able to contribute $10,000 a year. Oh shit, that's $100,000. Let's do 10,000. All right, $10,000 a year. As you can see, that is good. Okay, right now I'm only doing 3,600, and let's kind of scroll down here, looking at the age and the contribution. Now I'll tell you right now, I didn't start contributing to my retirement until age 33. Okay, and what you're seeing right here are the actual returns that you can also find on the Texas Investments website. Okay. We're going to have to update this because this number has since changed as well. So anyway, so these are my contributions, all right, every year. I think I have the year over here too, don't I? Yeah, there we go. So I started my retirement in 2015, and this is 2016, 2017, 2018, right? And so anyway, so these are my returns, all right, 16%, 13%, and then this is the balance over here. Okay. Right now it's early 2019. I think my balance is somewhere around 15,000, maybe 16,000, something like that. So I'm not far off of that. Keep in mind, these numbers are as of the end of the year, because this is saying that I would have contributed $3,600 for the total year of 2019. So far, I've only contributed $1,200. All right. So anyway, so those are the contributions. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here. Following the mouse. Okay. And if I continue doing this, okay, every year, $3,600, this is how the account grows. And it's simply because what's happening is every single year I'm gaining 10% on this balance, right? But every year the balance gets bigger and bigger, so the 10% of the new balance gets bigger and bigger. All right. So let's keep scrolling. All right. Now, the game plan is for me at age 62 to retire. At age 62, 2044, I'm going to start pulling $40,000 a year from my retirement. At that point in time, I assume that I'm going to stop trading, I'm going to stop investing, and I'm just going to let the money basically sit there, and it's going to accrue 5% interest a year. Okay? And then let's follow this down. So from 62 all the way down to age, there we go, age 86. Age 86 is the last time that I'll be able to pull $40,000 out of this account. At the end of 2069, I'll have roughly $19,000 left, okay? And that is the reason why we have a bad sign up here. Now, what I like to play around with, and I'm gonna do this only twice, just for sake of time here. just to give you an idea. All right, what I'm going to do here is, instead of retiring at 62, what happens if I retire a year earlier? All right, if I retire a year earlier at 63, let's see what happens. Still bad. Able cruise. I can't do it that right now. Still bad. All right. So, what about if we change our return 11%? All of a sudden it's good. All right. Just a 1% change changes everything. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to try to illustrate this for you, so you can really understand what's going on here. All right, let's go back. Let's go back and let's retire at 62 again, okay? And you see, I'm good at 11%. Let me show you why I'm good, just real quick, just to make sure we're on the same page here. All right. Money won't run out. Look at this. Look at that. At 100 years old, I'll still have $100,000. Okay? And all I did was change this by 1%. All right, let's do this again. 10%. Bad. Let's look all the way down. All right, look at that. At 100 is negative $600,000. So we're literally talking about the difference of $700,000, and we're talking about just 1% difference. 1% difference is $700,000 different. Okay, and we're talking about the space of literally what, 60 years? 60 years. A mortgage is 30 years. Cars are 5 years. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again because this is something that's really important to me. I have created an investment club for children, okay? Adults can join too, but for children, I actually give them money to put into this account, okay? And just want to show you how this works. So I'm going to take this. Gonna pull it all the way up. All right, and I did this solely for parents that can't do this for their own children, right? Like, if you can't do it, let me do it, and if you can do it, please do it. All right, it's very simple. At age 3, okay, we're gonna put $20 a year, $20 a year into a retirement account for a 3-year-old. Okay, all right. Now, this is what happens, okay? At age 30, this 3-year-old has $2,600 in the account. This is $20 a year. All right, we're gonna keep scrolling. At age 62, this 3-year-old can withdraw $40,000 for 2 years. That's 80 grand for 2 years, simply by putting in $20 a year. Now, $20 a year is like less than $2 a month. Please understand that. $20 a year is less than $2 a month. If a 3-year-old put away less than $2 a month, they'll have $80,000 to withdraw, tax-free, right? For at least 2 years at age 62. All right, now we're talking about $20 a month, y'all. Now, I'll tell you right now, I start every kid with $20 a year, and then every year I put in 2% of my gross revenues into, I split it amongst all the kids, right? So this year, I think every kid is going to get something like $40. Last year, every kid got like $60. So let's do this. Let's go down, and I do this until they're 18, okay? So we're going to do 18, and then we're gonna take all that away. All right, so let's see what happens. If I start the account with $20, okay, and then I put $40 in every single year, all right, until they're 18, and we just let the money sit there and grow. Okay, let's say they don't touch it, because we don't want them to touch it. We want it to sit there, right? And we let that money grow. Okay, by the time that child is 50, they'll have $30,000 sitting into a retirement account. This is if they don't put any money in after they turn 18. If they just forget that they even have this account, right? Forget they even had it. That money is going to grow to $30,000 by the time they're 50 years old. By the time they're ready to retire, look at this. They're able to pull $40, $80, $120,000 out of the account and still have $17,000 left over. So really, let's say $140,000. Simply by starting at age 3. Now, I put this information out there. I talk to people and I say, hey, you know, sign your kid up for a retirement account. And people kind of looked at me side-eyed. You know, I can only do what I can do, right? There's currently about 9 children in total that's in the club. And I think all of the kids, I think the youngest right now is probably 3, I believe. And they all have about $100 and some in their account. So see, they're all right about here, right? Right about here. And it's just going to keep growing because I'm not going to stop, right? All right, so this is what I want to do here, all right? Now, we talked about how much money they'll have at age 62, right? We talked about that, right? They'll have roughly $94,000. All right. Here's the power of compound interest, y'all. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this number and we're going to increase it to $41. Okay, $41 till age 18. All right, let's see how much that changes things. So now, at age 62, $96,000. So that's an increase of about $2,000 simply by increasing $1 per year for what, maybe 15 years? That's $15. $15 makes the difference of $2,000. And that is the reason why when I was in high school, this is what I was told in high school. I was told that you're going to graduate high school, you're going to get a loan to go to school, you're going to graduate, you're going to graduate college. You're going to get a loan for a car, if not before. You're going to get a job, and then you're going to get a loan for a house. And then once you get a loan for that house, you're going to turn around and get another loan on the same house that you originally got the loan on, called a home line equity loan, or HELOC, right? Home equity line of credit, right? Another loan on the same house to repair the house, because of course the house is going to fall into disrepair after a while. It doesn't last forever. You're gonna have to repair it. And to me, that just didn't seem right. I was like, why am I getting all these loans? You know, you know, my financial education started in church. Okay, I was one of those weird kids that actually read the Bible like cover to cover. You know, and one of the things that I remember in the Bible was what the Bible had to say about loans. And I'm looking up right now what the word is, because it's escaping me right now. And I talk about this so much, like I should know what the word is. Oh, come on. While I'm looking for this, I'll tell you what the Bible says about loans is that if my brother is hungry and my brother needs food, if I have the food to give, I'm going to give. I'm not going to loan the food to my brother and then turn around and charge interest on top of that. 9 times out of 10, people get loans for one or two reasons. Let's keep it all the way real. It's because they either need the money or they're trying to get over on somebody. That's it. It's only 2 reasons. You either need the money or you're trying to get over on somebody, right? Let's see here. And it was actually called a sin. And I can't think of the word for it. But it's actually a crime in America to charge too much interest. And they use the biblical term for that law. And it's just, and I refuse to get off this live until I find it. Let's see, law. Too much interest. What is this thing called? Usury. Whew. Took a while. Usury. Usury is a sin in the Bible. It's a sin. The reason why the Christians did not like the Jews is because the Jews were known as money changers. They were known to extend loans to people. Because remember, guys, Muslims cannot do loans. It is against their religion. Okay, in Muslim countries, there is no such thing as a loan. You can rent to own, but you cannot get a loan for anything. It's completely against Muslim law. So back in the day, Jews were the only ones that were actually extending loans to people, and they were getting rich off of it. And that's the reason why the Germans and all these kind of people hated the Jews, because they were like, how dare you charge me interest on something I need? You know what I'm saying? If I need a car and you have a car, if you have it within your means to give me the car, give me the car. If you can't give me the car, don't sit there and don't loan it to me and then make me pay double, triple what the thing is worth. I'm already broke. I already don't have the money for the car. Why am I paying 3 times what the car is worth? That's ridiculous. If I had the money to buy the car, I would pay the actual price for the car and that'll be it. Right? But because I don't have the money, because I'm poor, I got to pay 3 times what the car is worth. That's usury. That's usury, and it's wrong. The U.S. actually has laws against usury, right? You can only be charged so much interest. Now, payday loans have gotten away with this. They lobbied the U.S. government to get their way on this stuff, and it's sad. It's so sad. But payday loans are able to charge, 200, 300, 400% interest. It's crazy. Car loans are capped at a certain amount. I'm not going to even try to quote what that amount is right now. I'm looking at it in front of me, but car loans are capped at a certain amount. Mortgages are capped at a certain amount. Personal loans are capped at a certain amount. Credit cards are capped at a certain amount. They can't charge you too much interest. But even the interest that they can legally charge is way too much, honestly. So that's how compound interest works against you, okay? But if you understand the power of compound interest, then you understand why these people are so willing to give you loans. They're so willing to give you loans because, listen to me, people, if something costs $20 and they're able to raise the price to $21 and put you under a loan, that $1 means the difference of thousands sometimes. Thousands sometimes. Just depends on the situation. And a lot of times what these companies will do is they'll turn around and say, oh, well, we're going to charge you for the thing, but then we're going to put a finance charge on top of that, and then we're going to give you a loan for the thing plus the finance charge. What? What? You're putting money on top of the price of the thing and then charging me interest on the total. That's crazy. That's crazy. Kiss my ass. I can't do it. I refuse. I won't. No. Forget that. And so I encourage that for other people. A lot of situations, I won't even help people if they tell me they trying to get a car loan. I won't even help them. I'll be like, you know what? I can't support that. Save your money, buy what you can afford. If that ain't nothing but a $1,500 car, that's what the hell you gonna drive, a $1,500 car. That's what you can afford. Same thing with student loans. I'm getting to the age now where I have clients that have kids that are ready to go to college. And these are people that I know personally, that I've known for a very long time. And I got to sit on the phone and I got to talk to them, explain to them, listen, your child does not make enough money to pay for what is it called, a 4-year college tuition. Can't do it. And you cannot afford to send them to live on campus at a crazy rent amounts for a dorm room, So how about this? How about you go to community college, something you can actually afford, live at home. If you want to get a job and get your own apartment, fine. But you're not going to pay exorbitant amounts of money for an apartment on campus to then turn around and pay an exorbitant amount of money for your first 2 years of education that doesn't matter anyway. No one cares when you went to school the first couple years. It matters where you graduated from. That's true, right? But once you get to your junior, senior year, hell, you should have an associate's degree. You should be able to make some money and actually pay for that school yourself. Student loans are horrible. You need to stay away from them. Get away from them. Don't make any sense. And I'm going to tell you right now, the fact that the government has subsidized these loans should let you know right then and there that these things are no good. No good. You telling me that a company can come out here and sell a loan to someone that's backed by the federal government, which means if you don't pay it back, the federal government is going to pay them. If that's the case, why would I care who I give this loan to? I'm going to give this loan to as many people as take this loan. I'm going to send emails. I'm going to make TV commercials. I'm going to be telling everybody, please come down and get this loan. I don't care who you are. Just sign your name on the dotted line. I don't care if you go to class. I don't care if you graduate. I don't care if you're even taking a class that makes any sense. I don't care. Why would I care? The government's going to pay me the money whether you pay it back or not. And who owns student loans? How can the government possibly afford to pay for student loans that don't really, I mean, maybe a higher education can increase the populace and the citizenry. Maybe we get smarter. Maybe we have better paying jobs. We pay more taxes. Maybe, right? But man, come on now. Let's be real, you know? So we got to get away from that, guys. I've rambled on way too long. But again, I just want to reiterate, that's the power of compound interest, okay? $1 can make a huge difference. 1% can make a huge difference. And I'm gonna I'm just gonna illustrate this and I'm gonna be done, okay? So remember, we have the $20, the $41, right? Okay, all right, cool. And we know that comes out to 96,000 at age 62. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come up here. We're gonna change this interest rate, okay? Now I want you to keep in mind when you're talking about interest rate with these companies, okay? When you go in and you're trying to buy a couch or a car or anything, the interest rate is what you're buying. You're not buying the car. You're not buying the couch. You're not there shopping for that. You're shopping for an interest rate because a car is a car is a car is a car. The interest rate is what matters, okay? Let's take this 10%, okay? And let's knock this down to 9%, okay? Let's see what happens at 9%. Now remember, we were at 96,000 before, right? Okay. 1% difference. 1% difference. Look at this. I'm not making this up, man. $61,000. That's a $30,000 difference just by moving it 1%. So please understand why it's so important. It's so important, okay? You're shopping for an interest rate. You are not shopping for the thing. If you're getting a loan for something, you are shopping for an interest rate. You want the best interest rate possible, period. It's all that matters. And if they don't want to give you the best interest rate, then you shop around. One of the things that pisses me off simply because I know this stuff, right? I know this stuff, and that's why it pisses me off. When you walk into a car dealership and you start talking to somebody about a car, the first thing they're going to ask you is, how much can you afford a month? When they ask you that question, I'm not sure if they're ignorant themselves or if they think I'm ignorant, okay? What I can afford a month is none of your business. All I care about is the interest rate. That's all I care about is the interest rate. I don't care how much I can afford a month. I can afford $1 million a month. What is it to you? What is the interest rate you're giving me? That's what matters, okay? And when I hear that stuff, I get pissed off and it bugs the hell out of me. The salesman may not know. The sales manager may not know. But that financial director that sits up in the office and approves all the loans, the underwriters that approve all the loans, they know. They know. And the fact that they get away with this shit over and over and over and over again is criminal. It really is. How much you can afford per month ain't their business. It's not their business at all. Your interest rate, that is what's important. I don't care about the payments. I want the lowest interest rate possible because I can do math. If the vehicle is worth $10,000 or $20,000, $30,000, whatever, multiply that times the interest rate. Those are your payments. So you give me the lowest interest rate possible. The risk-free interest rate right now is creeping up on about 3%. That means that somebody can put their money in the market and make 3% risk-free. No losses. Impossible to lose. It's risk-free. That's what it's called, the risk-free interest rate. It's hovering close to about 3% right now. So any interest rate that they're giving you above 3% is cool. But you're not going to double that. Double it? Double it. So you're trying to tell me that my risk of paying back this loan is double? Nah, come on, man. Get out of here with that. So anyway, I've gone on too long. From me to you, I holla.